Hey everybody, how's it going? Happy World Mental Health Day. Um, so this is my third attempt at doing this video. For some reason, the video keeps cutting off every time I do it. But that doesn't change. I'm always gonna try and do the best and put out the best for you guys. And considering the fact that it is World Mental Health Day, I am gonna provide some free information for you guys. First things I like to start off with is I don't really give too much information about myself to you guys. I do that for a reason. I created PsychLife to try and remain as anonymous as possible as an individual, and I think I've been pretty successful at that so thus far. Um, so today there was two things I wanted to talk about. What is mental health? That's the first one, and why is it important? What is mental health and why is it important? And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the difference between mental health and mental illnesses. These terms are very important because in today's society, people want to be knowledgeable about these topics, and in turn, they want to show people how much they know, and they're using the word interchangeably, and they're not being used properly. But if you guys follow my platform, I hope you guys would be able to distinguish the difference between the terms and actually know the terms. And I'm proud to say that if you guys are able to gain this information from my platform, it would make me feel like if what I'm doing is I'm not wasting my time. So here we go. So first off, like I said earlier, happy World Mental Health Day. And the second thing is what is mental health? Now, I'm going to give you my personal definition of mental health, which coincides with the DSM and the World Health Organization, which is a huge platform and a huge organization, the World Health Organization, which they separated mental health, just so you guys are informed, into 8 different dimensions instead of the DSM with the old dimension, which only uses 2 dimensions to measure mental health. So here we go. What is mental health? Mental health is the way that you adapt to your environment and situations. You cope with stressors and stimuli. You are able to maintain healthy relationships in your life. And lastly, are able to function. Those are the 4 criterias I created for mental health. And I don't know if you guys can see it too well because I'm a one-man show and I'm organizing this. I put it right here. Mental health refers to the maintenance of successful mental activity in reference to productive daily activities, maintaining healthy relationships, ability to cope with stress, and ability to adapt. So why is this important? Productive daily activities. Are you brushing your teeth? Are you waking up in the morning and leaving the house presentable? Are you able to engage in typical activities such as going to work and coming back without it being a catastrophe to your own health, to your own way of being? Maintaining healthy relationships with others, meaning being able to give and take in a relationship, knowing how to communicate, ability to cope with stress. We all have different coping techniques. Me personally, I like playing basketball and I like deep breathing. Those are my 2 ways I cope with things. And ability to adapt. change, having a new boss, having a really adapt to circumstances. It's organized here for you, but I'll say it if I have to, but I have it down. And basically, what a mental illness is a pattern of thinking or behavior. So, a pattern of thinking or behavior that affects your emotional pain and prevents normal functioning. So, what are some examples of diagnosis of mental illness? ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, depression, anxiety. What else? Bipolar 1, bipolar 2, many personality disorders, trauma. Trauma is more of an event that the perception of an event that occurs. It's very important to consider. Can a medical condition, and this is a random question, guys, can a medical condition affect your mental health? And I hope if you constantly follow my answers. Yes, a medical condition can affect your mental health. If you have a medical condition and all of a sudden you have to start consuming oxycodone, that's going to change your mental health. It's definitely going to change your mental health. Doesn't mean that you have a mental illness. It just means it's going to alter your mental health. Why? Because the drug oxycodone within itself that you're required to take because of the surgery you just had, because of the things you just the physical sickness that you just inherited or whatnot, or will lead you to act and think a lot slower. That's oxycodone. It will actually cause you to feel differently, and it'll cause a neurochemistry change in the brain, causing you to just be different. It will affect your mental health. So medical conditioning can affect your mental health. Here's another random question. If you're having all the symptoms or the characteristics of a poor mental health, you're going through a rough stage in your life, a rough patch for about a week or two, maybe even a month, which happens sometimes. We're all human beings. Does that mean you're struggling with a mental illness? No, it doesn't mean you're struggling with a mental illness. It just means that you're going through a rough patch, whether you're grieving because you just lost a loved one, things are not going the best, or maybe you're just having trouble adjusting. And that's important. So hopefully watching this video, you guys have determined the difference between mental health and mental illness. Now, I'm just going to throw in some random facts here. Hopefully my video doesn't cut off like it has the last two times. And here we go. So what are the two variables that correlate with happiness? And I'll give you a clue. They're in that list right there. And I'm just going to tell you. The ability to have healthy relationship with others and the ability to have goals and pursue them are the two variables that people associate and research correlation with happiness. And this is important. Why? So you guys can have the information. If you guys think that you guys don't need anybody and you don't need to have friends and you don't need to talk to people at all, then you're going against what the research has said. And it's important to know we all, as human beings, we all strive for social connection. It's important to maintain healthy relationships. And maintaining healthy relationships is a big indicator of good mental health characteristics, of good mental health. So I'm running out of time. There's a line outside. There's someone that wants to use the room. But one thing I do want to talk about are some of the negative effects of the stigma. When I created Psych Life, it was to talk about the importance of mental health and to talk about and to end the stigma of mental health. It's just now that industrialized countries have given great importance to mental health, and as time goes on, I hope more and more countries do. But not all the countries have the resources. We still, in the United States, certain states still treat those that consume drugs or are addicted to substances as criminals. Tell me how that's beneficial for anybody's mental health. It's important to note that those, and after making that comment, that those struggling with substance use, they need treatment. They need treatment not only for the drug, so they can detox, but they also need treatment as to the trauma that's leading them to the drug use. And people don't oftentimes understand that, and there's a stigma behind that. So some of the harmful effects of the stigma can include, don't be scared, just ask for help. If you're contemplating hurting yourself or hurting others, don't be scared to ask for help. I think the most important thing is being aware of your own emotions, being aware of your own cognitions and behaviors. In the process of ending the stigma, ending the stigma of seeking help, we can also improve bullying at schools if we can end the stigma. Right now, there's still a huge stigma when it comes to bullying and mental health. I just talked to a teacher the other day who says that the problem at schools is that there's no authority. Well, I actually beg to differ. I think that there's enough authority, there's just not enough education on how to handle certain situations. Fewer opportunities for work, school, or social activities, or trouble finding housing. That's a lot of times a stigma. Oh, if I see a psychologist, if I see a mental health counselor, all of a sudden that means I'm weak. That means I have a problem, and not necessarily. Maybe you just want to talk about an event that's occurring in your life or something that's happened in the past. We need to end the stigma for mental health. Not only will it lead to money saving within the system, so we don't have to support people while they're in jail for 10 years, maybe provide adequate treatment for a couple years. That would save a lot of money. Not only would ending the stigma for mental health save us money as a society in general, but it would also contribute to more functioning individuals in society, happier people, because their relationships would be more intact and be able to be maintained instead of always that arguing and fighting. Anyways, guys, they're trying to kick me out this room. So, happy Mental Health Day. Thank you guys for supporting me, and hopefully we can end the stigma of mental health together. And if anybody out there wants to collaborate with me in any way possible, let me know and we'll figure it out. All right? I hope everybody has a good day. Happy World Mental Health Day, guys. Psych Life.